Today, in the 21st century, children exploitation is majorly taking place online. For that reason, we want to discuss about internet safety for our children. Stephen Odero, together with I, Mary Mombi, will be discussing on some of the effects and dangers of internet for our children, and also tips on how we can be able to control this for our children. Karibu sana mwalimu. So I'll wish to ask you, as a parent, as a teacher, what do you think we should do in order to ensure that our children are not exploited through the internet, considering that apart from improper or inappropriate content and predators, there are many other dangers that are there in the internet. What do you think our parents should do or children should do to ensure that they don't fall victims of the internet predators, of the kind of inappropriate content that they can get there, of the addiction that can be caused by the uncontrolled use of internet and all that? What do you think parents need to do or the children need to do in order for them not to fall victims of the internet?
Okay, thank you, Mary, once again for having me on Mentor Me platform. I'm glad that you brought that topic of internet. Sure enough, I would tell you that internet is a challenge to many of our young children today. In the 21st century, first we've got to embrace technology, because internet is a form of technology. We have to embrace technology because eventually that's where the world is moving to. But when technology came into force, it came with its fair share of challenges. And some of these challenges, you won't be told on how to accomplish them, but you must have measures on how you're going to curb these. First, internet, I'm glad that you mentioned something to do with addiction. Internet can be very addictive, and especially to our young children. And I can tell you that right now, internet addiction is more rampant than even drug addiction, because this is something that children can do even in the presence of their parents. Doing it in the sense that they have got the mobile phones, they can be able to access the contents from the mobile phones of their parents, and at times they have got freedom to access the contents, because Wi-Fi is all over. They have been provided with by their parents, and at times parents have got very little time to control this, because essentially we also have got absentee parents, and some of them might not be able to even know how to deal with such kind of scenarios. So my take on this, internet is good, but how safe are our children with the internet? How responsible are our children using the internet? First, allow me to say that this is the platform where you can get useful information. But then on the other side of it, the paradox is that it is also a platform for all destructive informations that children can access. First, we need to know what is the ideal age of exposing the children to such kind of internet content. I can tell you that television is one of them. This is a form of media addiction. Movies, the sports, cartoons that they watch, all these ones are forms of media addiction, leave alone video games that are currently spoiling our children. When that happens, it simply sticks there, because it goes directly to the brain. You've heard of young children committing suicide as a result of playing certain kind of games, and then they are forced to, they are guided on how to play the game, and they commit suicide eventually. So the contents that are there, they are rated, because we normally have the Internet Protection Act. I mean Child Internet Protection Act, that is meant to ensure that whatever content that is put there is sieved enough to suit the content that the child can be able to consume. But at times, the children can easily be curious, carried away with a lot of curiosity, because when they are overwhelmed with curiosity, that content that you tell them is not appropriate for them. That's exactly what they want. I hope you've ever seen that.
Yes.
And curiosity is something that we cannot control at some point. But the main thing that we need to know is that we have to live with the internet. Parents will have to play a key role. You are a parent. I hope you know how to control your child when it comes to internet control and use.
Talking about the Facebook and the Instagram, I've seen instances where children have been bullied. You know, nowadays bullying is not done physically, it's
Very
online.
true, very true.
I've seen instances where a child is bullied and that child develops hatred for themselves and they get to a point of thinking of committing suicide because probably they uploaded a photo and they uploaded this photo expecting people to like it, and instead of people liking it, they started talking negatively about this child.
It can happen to many. Actually, it has happened to many because you expect people to talk about your post positively, but what happens? They give you negative comments. What do you expect? You get frustrated. That's how you start developing stress. That's called cyberbullying, because you know this is a platform where people can commit crime, yeah, and you can easily tell if you're a very keen parent that your child is being bullied because the child is not himself or herself. The child is ever moody. There's a lot of aggression. There's a lot of she's just feeling that sense of insecurity.
What about the kind of information that the children should share now? Because you find, for example, a child has a Facebook account, has an Instagram account, today we even have TikTok and all that. You find the children sharing too much. Sometimes you can tell even the specific place where they live, they share the specific address of their home areas, they share too much information about the family, they post a lot of photos, so you can tell a lot even if you've not met this child. So how much information should we share, or what should we share and what should we not share, remembering that the internet does not forget?
It is very important for our teenagers and young children to know that there is internet security and privacy. There are certain contents that you should not just share with people online, including even your full names. You should not be able to share. I'm so and so and so and so. That's why at times you find people using some kind of very funny names. They use those names for reasons, but you going there with the full names, full address of where you live, your residence, you even give the address of your parents, the locality where you live and all that. Such kind of things are not very safe because you will never know who is following you. You will never know when these predators will come and prey on you. Because not everybody else, yeah. At times, young children or young teenagers, when they go to those kind of social media platforms, they look for followers and they get carried away with many followers and all that. But do they know who is following them? Some people are not following them for any good reasons. Some are only looking for ways of capturing you, spoiling you, and later on you'll come to regret it. So we have got such kind of privacies that we have to protect. Name, do not just share with any strangers. You can share with the people whom you know, because I think these platforms have got some kind of limitations. Whom should you share with this?
The ones whom you know well.
Yes, the ones whom you know well. And do not just accept friendship requests from all and sundry on the platform. Not very correct. So parents should take responsibility and set standards, set principles in their families. Let them also bring in some people with very good knowledge and skills about internet security, internet safety, and responsibility to talk to the children. Let them attend functions organized by mentorship organizations, the church organizations, and in some of those functions they can easily get a lot of information. And I would also wish to advise institutions like schools should not just take the matter of media and internet lightly, just like that. in the guidance and counseling structures that we have in our schools, let us also openly talk about the contents that we are able to access from there, those destructive contents, those useful contents. Let them know them. And eventually, if we all work collaboratively, the parents, the society come together, the institutions come together, we'll definitely overcome this menace that we have about addiction of internet, safe use of internet, will be eventually overcome. So thank you very much for having me, Mary.
Thank you very much, Mwalimu. So I think to our viewers, it is very clear that at the end of the day, what matters a lot is about the kind of values that we're going to instill in our children, what we're going to teach them, and after you have instilled the right values, you should have nothing to worry about. So the buck stops at what kind of values are you instilling in your child. So let's instill the right values so that our children can also be able to tell themselves that I can access this information and I cannot access that other information. So parents, kazi kwetu. Wacheni tuwafunze watoto wetu kulingana na njia ya kanisa. We are Christians and let us train them the Christian way. Thank you so much, Mwalimu. Thank you so much for coming, and I'm hoping that we are going to continue reaching out to our children and also to our parents.